Wow, that sign can only mean one thing. That is that the Comedy Time Machine is back in orbit. After a few weeks off, we are back, traveling back in time to this week, somewhere in history. We have a very special co-host this week. Our other comedy pilots, Lee Levine, Gary Cannon, did not make this trip, but we're very happy to have my beautiful wife, Denise Mazan, here. Hopefully, we're happier than that you are to be here. It sounds
I'm
like.
happy to be here.
Those
losers took the time off.
So they have it. They had it off. They did not make this trip back with us to this week. This is besides being the first relative of any of the co-pilots, and you are now an official co-pilot because you've made this trip. I needed you obviously to work the time machine and get back here. We have another thing happening. This is our furthest trip back in the time machine yet. We went back 20 years, and some pretty amazing things happening 20 years ago. So thank you for being here, Denise.
Of course.
And let's get right to it.
Okay.
Let's jump right in.
Okay.
We always start with movies, so let's do that.
Okay.
And so 20 years ago, 1994, the last week in June 1994, you're going to tell us, as we landed here in 1994, what was playing at the movie theater. We do usually, instead of a top 10, a top 11.
Why do we do 11? I'm just curious.
Because other time machines out there can go to different times, different weeks. We can only go back to the same week, and for some reason we do 11. It's like it's like Spinal Tap. We've turned it up to 11. Other people do a top 10 list. We like to go. We like to go over and do a little more, a little extra.
Okay. Well, by doing that, number 11 this year is a very sad movie that I bawled my eyes out the entire time.
Ooh, all right. This could be The Hangover. This could be like any number of movies that you cry.
You cried during The Hangover?
No, you do. I'm saying you get very sentimental.
I cry during The Hangover.
It doesn't have to be a sad movie.
But it is about alcohol. A lot of alcohol.
This movie is.
Yes.
But usually, that's true. You do cry anytime you drink alcohol. There's a 50-50,
but I laugh a lot. I do.
You laugh a lot, and then you are one of those people. Usually.
I'm a very fun drunk for a very short amount of time.
Fantastic drunk, so much fun. But most people it goes by their amount of drinks. Like I'm gonna brag a little bit, and I'm pretty modest usually. I'm a fun drunk. Mm-hmm. If I'm drinking beer, and I could have a lot of beer and stay very fun. If I start drinking hard liquor and I drink too much and start getting tired, I'm always loud. But I start getting I start getting mean.
Children with ice bags of ice.
Oh, you're talking about
Kentucky Derby.
Kentucky Derby, yeah. I did. I stole some ice from a tent. Yeah. It was very hot.
Yeah.
And
no, it wasn't hot.
It wasn't?
No, it was raining, and you made a baby with an ice.
I didn't make a baby. You're making it sound like I had sex with the ice.
No,
I did not make a baby.
Sex, but
I treated the bag of ice like a baby.
For hours. Yeah,
I brought it with us wherever we went, and it was an attachment grew.
Yeah, it did. It was creepy.
Yeah, I brought it with me everywhere, and
I
missed that.
The drunkest.
It was but see, that was a happy fun drunk, I think, right?
For you.
I wasn't mean.
No, you weren't mean.
That's what I'm saying.
But as your wife, there is a point where I'm like, ew, you're not attractive anymore.
That seems to be a low threshold that you find.
No.
But I'm saying most people, it depends how much they drink to go through those stages. Like 1 or 2, they stay happy drunk, and then 7 or 8, then they may be mean drunk, or that you get that all from one drink.
No, 2.
You like can run the gamut. You start, you're having fun, and then just all of a sudden something clicks, and you're crying and sick and angry. Like it happens very quick.
It's 2 to 3.
Yeah.
But not 1.
Not 1.
I'm safe.
Yeah.
I'm safe. And it could be anywhere from 2 to more than 2. More to 2.
This is that's not what we want there. I was going to put your Twitter logo up there. Denise owns well, your business does.
Yes.
Your Neighborhood Studio.
Yes.
When the comedy time machine
this is perfect advertising too.
Yeah. This is
not
great.
A bar.
Everyone, I don't know why I brought it up in the middle of you being drunk. If you ever would like to see her drunk, come see her at work. She drinks a lot at work. But Yes, it's YNS Dance if you want to find her on Twitter, and if you're in Los Angeles,
maybe you guys forget all about this.
Yeah, that's all right. It's your neighborhood studio. Come see it. But anyways, yeah, you drink a lot. So let's talk about the movie. Everyone's probably wondering what movie we're talking about.
Yes.
About drinking and people crying. I would have guessed, like, if I was watching right now, probably some of the viewers might have guessed that this was Leaving Las Vegas. Maybe that's a movie about drinking.
Yeah,
someone going to kill himself, but it's not. Why don't you surprise them and tell them what the movie is?
It is When a Man Loves a Woman.
When a Man Loves a Woman. Andy Garcia, Meg Ryan.
Yeah, so sad.
Did you see this at the theater?
No, I saw it it was kind of weirdly creepy. I was
We did not know each other, by the way.
We did
at
not,
this point.
actually.
And we've only known each other for 9 years, 10 years.
Fresh out of getting a divorce.
Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic.
Did you know? I'm just kidding.
Oh, what? It's a surprise.
And my ex-husband, as he does know, was an alcoholic.
Oh, I see. So
yes,
hit close to home.
Hit very close to home, and it was like midnight. I was at my parents' house. I was home from college because we split up, and then I went back to school.
Yeah.
So I was home from college, and this movie was on. And it was such a great movie.
You really liked it, yeah.
I did. I really loved it. But it was so sad that I was just like, like ugly crying the whole time. So, yeah, it was great. It was a great movie.
Do you know, you probably don't know this, but do you know who wrote the movie?
Oh, God, trivia. No. You know what's so funny? I look trivia up on a lot of these, but not.
This is, you're not going to believe this,
funny.
but Al Franken. Absolute is our sponsor this week. Thank you, Absolute.
All vodka.
They have decided to sponsor us without knowing that they're sponsoring us, but thank you, Absolute. That's all vodka in that thing, and you'll see her get angry at the end and sad and cry and then probably puke here live. But Al Franken from Saturday Night Live, now a senator. Al Franken, you know Al Franken, right? He played Stewart. I'm going to love myself. You're a good person. You know what I'm talking about or no? No. Okay. The comedy doesn't always go with the comedy time machine. Al Franken, you know him. He's now a senator, and you would know him. He wrote the Rush Limbaugh's A Big Fat Idiot book, so many characters on Saturday Night Live, and wrote this movie that is not a comedy. So it was very surprising.
It's not a comedy. If it was supposed to be something
no,
really
it was
wrong.
Not. What did you fall in love with Andy Garcia in this movie?
I don't really remember if I did or not.
Yeah. What do you think? Good-looking guy, though?
I don't know. Not my type.
No. He's short, right? I would imagine he's short. I don't know if that's true. He might be 6 foot tall, but I imagine him being short. Yeah, no. I'm saying in real life.
You know, that's a really good part about the fantasy of movies and TV and all that stuff because it's a fantasy.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you buy them together, Meg Ryan and Andy Garcia?
I did.
Yeah. I love the first scene takes place in a bar. I love the opening scene of this movie. It's one of those where you don't know they know each other, and she comes up to him at a bar.
That's right.
And starts making out with him, and then it's they're husband and wife. Okay, but you don't know and the bar is right across from Cobb's Comedy Club, the old location of it on the wharf, Fisherman's Wharf at the cannery. It's right there. It's a famous bar that I heard Bruce Willis also go to tie in some of the movies. Used to bartend there before he became an actor. So yeah, kind of interesting. So When a Man Loves a Woman, we do another thing here called Box Office Bashers, which is the funny way you would buy tickets to this movie. And a good friend of the show, where is it?
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. No, we don't need an intern.
Well,
friend of the show. Yeah. We do need an intern to take care of this. That's why we got the wrong.
Yeah. See,
for those listening, if we had an intern, we need an intern at HaHa Time Machine if you'd like to be our intern, so that you can handle these things, and so we don't have to. But friend of the show, Mike Olmstead, old friend. He actually is a friend of the show, and he has one. His box office basher for this was, so you usually say instead of one for Dude, Where's My Car, you'd be like, if the movie's, you're expecting it to be bad, one for Dude, Where's My Refund? Right. That kind of thing. So his box office basher was When a Man Loves a Woman, he'll go with his wife to see this awful Andy Garcia movie.
Should I not say that's horrible since somebody else did it?
Should you not say it's horrible?
Right.
No, it's super funny.
Is it?
Yeah. Like that his wife, when a man loves a woman, he's going to go see a chick flick? That's the joke.
Say it again.
When a man loves a woman, he'll go with his wife to see an awful Andy Garcia movie.
He's going to say that whole thing to the box office person.
Let's move on. Mike, I loved it. Keep them coming. That was fantastic. You have a tough audience here tonight.
This is why he tries his comedy on me.
If you don't,
tough audience.
I want to apologize to anyone. You talk about people crying after they drink. If anyone who sent out in box office bashers, that was one of the best. So wait till you hear the bad ones tonight.
Really?
How bad? Yeah.
I'm sorry to anybody that I make cry.
All right, let's move on. What was number 10 movie? We spent a lot of time on number 11.
I know. It was The Cowboy Way, which I did not see, but I did watch the trailer, and it was with Woody Harrelson and Kiefer Sutherland back when Woody Harrelson was kind of good looking, which I never really thought he was. But the cover had Woody Harrelson with a cowboy hat covering his area.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, not bad. But yeah, it looked kind of cheesy and funny. And
did not see this movie either. I always mistake it when I hear this movie. There was a movie that came out with two other kind of actors, Don Johnson and maybe Mickey Rourke, I think it was, called The Marlboro Man and Harley Davidson and The Marlboro Man. It's two guys and they're kind of cowboys, but they're bikers too. And I think this same kind of thing that happens in The Cowboy Way.
These guys go to New York to find somebody that got lost, and it's like, oh, everybody's mean in New York, and they're like, oh, they're real cowboys, and it's shticky kind of. But,
Country Mouse goes to the city, kind of.
Yeah, kind of that kind of thing.
All right, that's what I say about that. All done Cowboy Way. Let us know if you liked it at our Twitter feed, and I think we got our Twitter feed. You can. There's mine right there. Let us know if you like this movie, The Cowboy Way. So there we go. Number 9 this week.
Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito and Gregory Hines. Did you see
Yes,
that?
I saw this movie. I didn't remember that Gregory Hines was in it. I wonder if he had a big part or he just ended up being one of the stars.
I did not see a lot of movies this week.
No, this week 20 years ago. Yeah, you didn't see it. Well, it was the number 9 movie, so maybe it was out for a while.
Maybe.
It wasn't a huge hit.
It was in Kansas 20 years ago.
Yeah, probably not a lot of. You only got the blockbusters out in Kansas.
Probably stoned.
You were stoned a lot then?
Yeah, I was in Kansas. There wasn't much to do.
That's what you do. That or wait for tornadoes to come and take you to Oz.
You know what I was doing? I was shoplifting.
Oh, no.
I know. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
There wasn't much to do.
As far as we know. What's the statute of limitations on shoplifting?
Definitely. The last time I shoplifted was in Hays, Kansas, because I made a deal.
No, but I'm saying is the statute of limitations 25 years?
I think it's like 7.
Because they could come now that you've announced here on the
Comedy
Time Machine.
I don't even have any of the stuff
I wonder if we
anymore.
could take the Comedy Time Machine back a little further and you could return the items.
I don't have any of them.
You don't have any of them? No. Anything back here? Is it the snowman or the Rudolph?
No, because we bought those recently.
Okay. We bought them. You sure we paid for them?
I'm pretty sure.
You're pretty sure.
The last time I stole was in Kansas, and I made a deal with God that said, if you promise that I don't get caught, I will never steal again when I leave Kansas. And I never has even stole a pen. God
works in mysterious ways, and I'm glad he helped you.
Yeah, he helped me out.
Renaissance Man, I actually enjoyed this movie. I think it was Penny Marshall, who was Laverne.
Yeah, I think she was. I saw
right, she was the director of one of her movies, and Danny DeVito was great in it. He plays a guy that I think trained some army specialists, kind of, and teaches them, kind of cultures them about other arts and stuff like that. Interesting story about it. One of the kids in it, I can't think of his name. He was the kid star of A Bronx Tale, which is one of my favorite movies. So that's a favorite that I don't remember the name of the star, but of course Robert De Niro, Chaz Palminteri, the big stars in it. But he was in it. He played the kid that really gets turned around by Danny DeVito. But he talking about shoplifting. He went to jail, I think, I want to say for stealing or something like that. He got involved.
Danny DeVito?
No, the kid who played it. He was on his way to like a pretty good. Yeah, Danny DeVito is in jail for shoplifting in Hays, Kansas, with Denise. He was your partner. Right. But anyways, that kid got in a lot of trouble, and he was on his way. I mean, he had some big Bronx Tale. He was, like I said, he was one of the stars of this movie. He was kind of moving up. He's a guy, if you saw a picture of him then, you'd be like, oh, I remember that guy in a bunch of movies. And if we had an intern, we could have got the intern.
We could have got that information. We would
to
have
find out his name. We'd have it here for you.
We'd probably have his picture up.
We'd have his picture. We'd have all that. So we need an intern. So let us know if you would like to be our intern. Okay, let's move on. What was next? Number 8.
I kind of want to do this. Exactly.
No, yeah. What? You're doing that already?
Yeah.
You want to skip 8?
Only because it's getting even with Dad. It's got Ted Danson and Macaulay Culkin, and let me just say that the most exciting thing about this is the picture on the front has Macaulay Culkin on it that looks like a mom, like a house mom. Like a house
really?
Yeah, that's what he looks like. Unattractive, like where they were trying to make him something, even though he was over the age of being
Look that
anything.
up. Look that up on your own.
It's
the cover of Getting Even with Dad. Listen, this is
does
Denise.
Not compare to the cover of the Cowboy Way.
Denise and I have this little thing we do. You know, just rituals that couples have. Whenever we're in a movie theater and a trailer comes on for a romantic comedy, and it's like, you know, it shows two people meeting, and the guy's like, you're just a stuck-up, you know, lady, broad, you know, and he's kind of manly. And then the girl's like, I don't like that guy, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. And I always, you know, make the joke. I'm like, you don't think those two crazy kids might end up together in the end, do you? And you always punch me, and you're like, it doesn't matter. Like, we just like, girls like chick flicks. Like, so in that same vein, right, doesn't that always happen when we see the
chick flicks?
No, we don't see the chick, just the trailers. I always say that. And you're like, and your explanation is that women don't mind. They just like the journey. They don't care if it's realistic or anything like that.
My explanation is we always want them to end the happy ending.
Yes.
Yes.
So you don't care how ridiculous it is along the way.
No, we care how ridiculous it is, but we want it to follow the formula.
So you don't care that it's a formula. That's my point, I guess. Because I see it and I always say, oh my God, you don't think they're going to end up together.
But every movie has a formula.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, so that's actually my point about Getting Even with Dad. Don't even didn't see this movie, but I'll bet that they get along in the end. Ted Danson and Macaulay Culkin. I bet it's kind of a chick flick with a father and son. I'll bet.
I think it's about some kind of scam artist thing. Okay.
You don't know anything.
Move
on. Number 7.
So many things. Number 7 is Maverick with Mel Gibson and Jodie Foster.
Mel Gibson when he was doing well. This is his Braveheart era, Lethal Weapon sequels.
Mm-hmm.
Maverick, you didn't see this.
I don't think I did.
It was pretty good. It was a funny, like, it was one of those where they were trying to make every TV show they were making into a movie. Anything that had been successful, like Beverly Hillbillies, had became a movie. And so Maverick was one. This is one of the better ones, I thought. Mel Gibson was great. Jodie Foster, I don't like her as a
sex object.
Yeah, she doesn't come across.
Don't buy it. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I will say she's a good actress, but she didn't. They could have come up with someone like sexier and more, you know, voluptuous.
She's a great actress, I think.
But the guy who played the real Maverick, James Garner, was in it as well. It was a nice wink in the movie to the whole thing. But yeah, Jodie Foster. Listen, I want to see her. I want to see her shoot serial killers or get raped on pinball tables and then get the rapists
I watched
later.
the trailer.
I don't want to see
of
in
that
real
one
life.
Too,
but those
and
things,
I mean, the truth is, and look, I am a fan of lesbians.
Yes.
I have had my share of enjoying a couple. Which is a different story.
Yeah,
but let me just say.
This might be a different podcast.
But there's and this was before she was out.
Yeah.
And there are lesbians that enjoy men, and they have chemistry with men. I don't think she's one of them. Yeah. And there are men that are gay men that have chemistry with women that enjoy women.
Yeah.
I don't think she has chemistry with men.
And
I've seen her in movies that she's done a lot of movies with men, and I don't ever think she really has a chemistry with them.
It's interesting you say that because the movies I think she's best known for, listen, she won an Oscar for The Accused.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's
totally different.
No, it's totally different, and obviously she's being forced in that case and that kind of thing. An incredible actress. The other big one she's famous for is Silence of the Lambs, and one of the things I love about Silence of the Lambs is they didn't try and force any type of love story in there. You know what I mean? I think if it was made 99% of the time, the studio would have been like, well, what about a love interest? And supposedly her boss, I guess, I don't know if in the book or originally in the script, her boss in that movie that kind of takes her under her wing was going to be a love interest, but they kind of cut it out of the movie. And I agree with you. It comes across weird with her.
Yeah.
And I think it's nice, especially there's so many guy movies where the guy doesn't have to have a girl in it. So it was nice. That was a great thing about Silence of the Lambs. But that says something about Maverick that what we like about it is that we got over to Silence of the Lambs somehow.
Yes.
So let's move on.
Okay. So number 5, which is funny that this is the number 5 movie, was The Flintstones, which was kind of like a...
It's very nice, but I don't know how you count on what other podcasts you count. We're going to go to number 6 before we hit number 5.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. I don't know.
I just skipped right over.
How much of that vodka have you had? Thank you, Absolute, for making us count in these awesome glasses they sent us. Thank you, Absolute, for being a great sponsor. If you want to get messed up and learn how to not count, Absolute. is absolutely the way to do it. I think that's going to be a tagline in the future for them. Okay, number 6. Number 6.
City Slickers 2.
Not the full title, and I see on your notepad there that that's how you wrote it down. But this is one of those great
ones.
ones.
This was going to be the official. Oh, I didn't know that you were
that this was going to be the official.
Half-assing your part of the job.
It's not my part of the job. No, I'm not going to. We need an intern. We need an intern to come on and show us what the exact titles and everything like that.
So City Slickers
I'm piloting this time machine. I don't have time. I like it. I've never seen this full movie. Love City Slickers.
City Slickers
2.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, what was it?
City Slickers 2. In search of the bullshit map because of the guy that's dead and he's got some spirit.
Whoa. Let's go back.
Okay.
The thing you didn't like about Mike Olmstead's box office basher was that it was too long, but you just said the longest movie title, City Slickers 2, The Legend of a Bullshit Map that doesn't, like that would, holy cow, that would be the one marquee. Thank you. So anyways, this is one of the great titles, I think. That's why I bring it up. First of all, City Slicker is a great movie.
What's the title?
Right?
Here, I'll write it down. I'll make a note.
City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold.
Ooh,
yeah.
I'm not really writing it
down. She didn't. That's twice you didn't write it down now. So
right. It is.
So The Legend of Curly's Gold.
Colon.
This is up there, I think, with Breakin' 2. Do you remember the Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo, one of the great sequel titles of all time?
That is a good name.
This is just like that. It's so ridiculous, The Legend of Curly's Gold. Like it's so so crazy. So I think I've seen this movie in parts. Maybe I've seen the entirety, but I didn't see the whole thing. Did you saw City Slickers 2?
I did.
And?
I don't really remember it. It didn't do anything.
This is one of those two where they forced, obviously, the great thing about City Slickers was Jack Palance was fantastic as the bad guy.
But he died, right?
He died in the first one. And
sorry
so what they
I'm
did.
It for you.
Spoiler alert!
I know.
Spoiler alert! They had to bring him back. He was so popular. So, of course, they bring him back that he has a twin. I can't remember his name, what it would be, but so he helps him find Curly's Gold. So, City Slickers. But the first City Slickers, a fantastic movie. So
I really like the first.
The first one was fantastic. Bruno Kirby is great in it. And let's move on.
Let's see if people can. Okay, that's really long. Wow.
Yeah, that was a long one.
Phil, you have to remember what it sounds like in people's ears. Looks like they're working out and they're
listening to us. You're very thoughtful.
Yeah.
To think about people's ears. This
like,
is a good podcast.
I like this podcast. And they're like, meh.
And they're like, no, never again.
That's horrible.
Never again.
And they have to mute us.
Yeah.
And then they missed some really amazing part of it.
I apologize.
So number 5, I blew it. So
they already know it is, but it is the Flintstones.
Yes.
This is the original Flintstones. They tried to make a sequel later that bombed, but I think this one was pretty big.
This one was amazing.
Amazing?
Well, no.
Whoa, wait a second.
Here's the thing. I only really remember the opening credits because I was so stoned. And I was like...
This is like a kid's movie you're going stoned to.
Now, here's the worst part.
Yeah.
I was home.
Oh, you saw this at home on video?
Well, yeah. So my mom's old house was like weird how it was like there was like a love seat kind of close to the TV, and then the 2 recliners were kind of back.
Yeah. So
they couldn't see really how stoned I was. So like, Flintstones were on, and it was like a weird kind of. It was like in between. So
who's watching it? You, your mom, your stepdad?
Boyfriend that I went to college with.
And the boyfriend. Okay. Was he stoned too?
Totally.
Okay.
So, it was like, what was it? It wasn't cartoonish, but it wasn't creepy.
No, it was
weird...
it was live action. But there was all the sets to look like the old thing. It was John Goodman as Fred Flintstone.
Yes, but just
I don't remember
I don't know who Betty
Rick
was.
Moranis?
Betty was Rick Moranis was
Barney. Elizabeth Perkins maybe as Wilma, and I think Betty Rubble was what's her face? Rosie O'Donnell, which I didn't think I hated. Rosie O'Donnell did it great. She had the laugh down the however she kind of laughed. Betty, that's not it. But whatever it was, she could do it dead on. She was great, but I don't think it was fair because Betty was hot. There's some cartoon characters that are hot. And Betty was one of them. She wore those little purple kind of skirts, and to have Rosie O'Donnell come in there and do it, it would have been like having a thin Fred Flintstone.
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it.
But so you were stoned. So did you ever?
You know how like you have those moments, and this was back before this was 20 years ago. So this was like when getting stoned wasn't like people would like make it this scientific chemist experiment where you'd get high and you were like, what did I just do? It was like you got high and you were stoned. You weren't like felt like you needed to check yourself into some mental institution, which is why I don't do it anymore.
Or go shoplifting.
Exactly. It's the same period of time.
Yeah.
But so she turned it on and the credits start rolling and it's like the thing, the cartoon would happen. Flintstones. Exactly. And I lost it. We were both just cracking, like we could not get our shit together, and my parents were like...
Did they like it?
They thought it was funny, but they thought
were like,
that it was funny that we were laughing.
Oh, so it was more of that. Yeah.
No, they didn't seem to like really question, which I was like, why aren't they? I mean, later, like, why would they not even question? Like, I couldn't.
Did your mom ever know when you were high? Could she ever tell? She could tell if you were drinking. You told me stories about that.
I came home and she's like, "Why are your eyes red?" And I was like, "Oh, my allergies are killing me."
Do you have allergies?
Yeah.
All right, nice. That's
but she
the
says
upside
later
of allergies.
She knew.
Yeah.
So who knows?
So well, this is a good box office basher. From your story, how would you have bought your ticket?
I don't know.
Come on, think about it.
I don't. I'm not good at that. Put me on the spot.
Just take a guess. Look at the name on the thing, and what would you say?
I would say that I hate when you put me on the spot. It makes me want to punch you in the face. 2 for that.
How about 1 for the Flintstoners? Or I'm Flintstoned. Now that's funny. I don't know. You're just holding. It's totally good. Come on. No one likes a hater. Stoned. You're stoned. Flintstoned.
But Flintstoned?
Yeah, because if you say I'm stoned, it makes no sense whatsoever. You have to use, the idea is to use part of the title. Do you not understand the actual thing? I don't think you understand how this game is played. Just say I'm stoned. Wait, we can't move on because I was trying to give you a great line with your story, but I actually had my own box office basher. But now I don't know if I should do it because you know how the game. You're shitting on everything here. No one likes a hater. Hate the game, which you obviously do.
Well,
all right.
Wait.
Will you give me an honest reading? Because I know sometimes now you're not going to give me an honest reading because you're like, I'll just prove that nothing you say is funny. Are you ready?
I'll try.
Promise?
I said I'll try.
All right. So either a laugh or buzzer. So hand on the buzzer, please.
Okay.
All right. I didn't even say it.
To see if it worked.
Now you've hurt the people's ears who were working out. Apologize to them.
Okay, I apologize.
All right, ready?
Okay,
Now be honest.
I am.
Cleanse yourself, let it all out.
I'm cleansing myself.
Okay, ready? Here we go.
Okay.
You sound angry. I don't want you to be angry when I give you this. All right, you ready?
Yes.
This is a good one.
Would you stop
All right, here we go. Ready?
Yes.
Ask me what. I like to be fed the line, so pretend you're the ticket girl.
Okay, what movie are you here to see?
1 for Yabba Dabba Don't.
I like that.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
You're not going to be like, why would you say Yabba Dabba Don't? All right, let's really move on.
Okay.
Flintstoners, I think was pretty good. I think that went with you. Okay.
Okay, number 4 is Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp.
I'm going to let you go first because I have some very definite ideas on this.
Okay, Wyatt Earp, Kevin Costner.
Don't look at my notes. Saw
the movie. It was okay. It was okay. This is when they were having a lot of biopics. Here's the problem. This was one of those. I know the history a little bit of this.
Okay.
2 studios came at the same time, had an idea to make a movie about.
Yes. Cheap version of Tombstone.
That's exactly what. It's funny because I think this got greenlit first, so they were going to make Wyatt Earp and started casting it, and then the other studio said, let's do the old, there's old movies like in the 40s and 50s, Gunfight at the OK Corral, which I think even Kirk Douglas, Michael Douglas's dad, played Doc Holliday in those.
Mhm.
So they're remaking him again, but they all have the same idea. So Tombstone goes into production as well and comes out first.
So
Comes a
much
big
better.
hit, and Tombstone is one of my favorite movies of all
Me
time.
too. It's so great.
You know who else? It's his number one favorite movie. It's in my top 10 easily.
Mhm.
I love it, and it's one of those if it's on, I could watch it. Val Kilmer.
So great.
So good. Is there one of the performances of the ages? Like I thought, this guy's a star for the
great.
rest of his life.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's fallen off. You're like, yeah,
I know.
he's so good in it. But number one, you know who this is his number one movie is the director of our movie, Biagio. Biagio. I asked him one day. I was like, he was editing our movie, Don You Do Letterman, free on Hulu now. Check it out. It's a shameless plug. But he was editing one day. We were just talking about movies and stuff, and I was like, "What's your favorite movie of all time?" And he's like, "You're gonna laugh." And I was like, "No, what?" And he's like, "Tombstone." I was like, "I love you." It's so good, right? It's a great movie.
Great.
So I thought he was gonna pick something, all, kind of art housey film, just being a film. Yeah. So it's a fantastic movie. Wyatt Earp, came out later, maybe 6 months later or something like that. I don't know how often it was, and. This it paled. It was okay. I'll see it on now, and it's got a pretty good cast of people, it just pales in comparison. It's not as exciting, and it's they tried to do a Dancing with Wolves, like it's long. Tombstone is like an hour and a half.
I feel like Kevin Costner is always trying to do an epic tale.
Yeah.
Always. And I think, don't say who the person is that gave me this information.
Oh, yeah. No, we had. Denise worked at a acting studio. I'm not going to say the name. An acting studio at one point, so she got some inside information of someone who dated Kevin Costner.
And he has a very large part of his body.
Large penis. Say that. Let's say penis, or else people are going to be like, what? He's got
like a large arm.
A large nose. Like, maybe they hide it all the time. Like, they only shoot his left side.
So he's like gigantic dick.
He's got a huge,
So it makes me
think
penis. He might be cocky.
I've been called. That's sometimes you've said to me, like when I walk in, you're like, you kind of look like Kevin Costner right now, like when I'm in the shower and stuff. Not that you saw his thing, because of my large left arm.
Right,
that's why you said. But that's the rumor.
Him in sports stuff, actually. But
it's fantastic. Some of the greats, right?
Yes.
Field of Dreams, Bull Durham.
Yes, but I just don't. He's always doing these epic, fucking boring, long. And I just don't, that's what that, and maybe he's got that confidence because his dick goes to his knees.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
But he's like, everything needs to be long, not just my penis.
Maybe. Okay.
Number three.
Which I don't.
Or do you want to skip and go right to number 2?
Shut up.
Number 3.
I didn't see this movie, so I don't know if it deserves. I don't get it, but. Wolf is the name. It's a werewolf movie with Jack Nicholson, Michelle Pfeiffer, James Spader, and Christopher Plummer. Did you see this?
I have never seen the whole thing. Seen it in parts.
Watching parts.
You don't like on cable. You turned it on and it's on, so you're like, oh, I never saw this. This one I haven't even seen in parts the whole movie. I've only seen parts of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's pretty bad. This is
number 3.
This is soon after you forget the Dracula. Well, it just came out. You forget that some of these have been out 3 or 4 weeks. This might be the first week Wolf came out.
All right.
I mean, it probably did well just because it's Michelle Pfeiffer, Jack Nicholson as the werewolf. Which you think that sounds good, right? Michelle Pfeiffer is hot. She's hot today, and this is 20 years ago.
Yeah.
This is they made Dracula. It had come out a year, so now they're like, now we got to do the werewolf movie. Every time there's one hits off, then they got to do another. So, this came out and it was bad. Everything I've seen of it. James Spader was in it? I didn't know that.
James Spader was in it, and the, trivia that I read about it was Christopher Plummer's actually the one that got so into his role that he had to, fake slap her, and he actually smacked her across the face.
Christopher Plummer really smacked her?
Really slapped her,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I was like, that's kind of... interesting.
You like domestic abuse?
No, I didn't no, not at all. I just thought... I wonder, if it were me, I would have hit him back. But I wonder.
Yeah, maybe she did.
She was probably shocked.
I'm sure she was. This is, if my niece and nephew are listening, this Wolf was my nickname growing up. And my sister calls me, not from this movie. And a lot of people hear my sister call me. She'll be like Wolf or Wolfie or, that kind of thing. And they'll think, oh, that's kind of a cool nickname to be called Wolf. this is when I tell people, like, it doesn't make sense because you're not going to put two, you know this, but people listening at home or working out, it meant like nerd or dork. For whatever reason, when they were in junior high, woof meant like that guy's a woof, like a nerd, for whatever reason. And so throughout the years, like people would be like, "Oh, that's cool. You call your brother Woof. That's not a cool nickname. Why? Does he like wolves?" Right. So it's a running gag in my family. Everyone gives me like Woof stuff, or my niece and nephew will buy me Woof playing cards and be like, "Ha ha," you know, or if this show was on TV, they'd be like, "Hey, look, it's a movie about you," and like because they know, yeah. So it's a funny teasing thing. So. That nickname just as bad as the movie, I think. So let's move up to number 2.
Number 2 is the movie Speed.
Speed, great movie, right?
Great movie. Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock.
I know a little trivia about this. Johnny Depp was originally offered the role and turned it down. This is one of those, you hear these articles every once in a while of movie stars that turn down great roles, and this was one of them. Not that I don't know that. I
wonder what it would have been like with him in it.
Well, you forget too. This is Keanu Reeves' big break. I think he had done Bill and Ted at this point, but no one was taking him seriously as like the lead guy that could care.
Like, "Ma'am."
He was like, what?
He was always like, "Ma'am." He kept calling her "ma'am." Yeah.
In the movie, Sandra Bullock he'd call ma'am?
Yeah, and then she finally, what was her name in it? I can't remember what her name was.
Sandra Bullock.
Oh, I can't remember her name.
As Sandra Bullock.
No. And then she said her name, and he was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "That's my name, and so you don't have to call me ma'am."
Yeah, but it was great. He was great. Great villain. Dennis Hopper was in it. Who's the guy we love on The Newsroom? Jeff Daniels is in it. He plays his boss for a while in the movie. I think he dies. Spoiler alert. But yeah, Speed. It was one of those, like, everyone made fun of it because they're like, "What a stupid plot! If the bus goes below 55 miles an hour, it's gonna blow." But it was a fun movie, right? It was a great movie. Do you remember the sequel? They came up with a sequel a couple years after.
It was in the boat.
Yeah, it was a cruise boat.
I don't think I ever watched the end.
And he's not in it, right?
No, some other guy's in it.
Jason Patric.
Ooh, scary that you know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be one I didn't ever watch the full.
Yeah. I remember these two movies, the number one movie we'll get to in a second, being out at the same time, and it was like, ooh, they both, like, the buzz on both these movies was huge. Like, everyone was saying, like, Speed is one of the great action-adventure movies, of all time. It's such a different idea and that kind of thing. And the number one movie, when we get to it, everyone else was saying, this is a movie for the ages.
Which I didn't see until probably 15 years later.
Do you have any other notes or anything you'd like to share about Speed?
No.
Our friend and former co-pilot and future co-pilot, Gary Cannon, sent us a nice box office basher on this.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. Would you like to play the part of the ticket lady?
Sure. What movie would you like to see?
Can I have one for Speed out of this theater before you start watching it?
Not bad.
You're giving him credit for that? Wow. How do you like Olmstead, I think, deserve more. Let's move on. Thank you, Gary, though, for the box office basher. I thought it was funny as well. I just thought Gary.
What?
I thought that.
You thought it was funny, and
I did, but I'm saying I thought.
Thinking it's funny.
I thought you and Gary have our co-pilot Gary Cannon have a very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not tumultuous relationship, but a very adversarial. Like, you can tell. I know you guys love each other, but like in a friendship way. But like, you guys like to barb at each other. So I'm surprised you gave him a good laugh on that. That's what I meant.
Credit where credit's due.
Right. Like Yabba Dabba Don't. 2 laughs I got from Yabba Dabba Don't. All right, let's move.
I like silly humor.
You do?
Yes, I do.
That's why you like me, right?
Most times.
What are you doing? Are you gonna deny you like me now? This podcast has gone in the shitter. All right, let's move up to our number 1.
You want to say it?
No, you say it. Let them know what it is. Number 1 movie. If you went outside, got in our time machine, and went back 20 years this week, this would be the movie you'd see up on the marquee. Lines out the door to see this movie. It was
The Lion King.
The Lion King. You got it right, do you not? If someone says Lion King, like, I want to pick your head up and like hold it up to the sun. Like, don't you just have to do that? I want to grab a random baby on the thing, like pull it out of the stroller and hold it up.
Kuma.
Yeah, right. Like, take your dog, right, and hold her up like a.
She kind of looks like that.
Like the little lion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She kind of does.
But so you didn't see this when it was out?
No.
Oh, one of the great. I mean, this is one of those where it.
No, because I heard it was sad.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's sad parts.
It's sad.
Yeah.
I don't like sad movies.
You like romantic comedies where they're going to end up together.
And I like action adventure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, but this was great. Great soundtrack. Elton John, big number one hits. Can you feel the love tonight? I don't know any more of the words. and the great Hakuna Matata. Mm-hmm. Fantastic. That was a great one. There might be another song in there I can't remember, but fantastic. Matthew Broderick as the voice of the young lion. Mufasa. Whoopi Goldberg. Mufasa was James Earl Jones. Do you care anything about this? No? Okay, let's move on. That was it. So that's it. That's what you would have seen if you went back with us this week and jumped into the movie theater. If we when we go back, since you were shoplifting them, do we pay for the movie or do we just go see it?
Of course.
Yeah. Our good friend of the show, Cash Levy, will be a guest. He never pays for movies. He does sneak-ins and sneaks into the movie theater. But that's good that you draw the line.
Yeah, that's bad karma.
You'll steal stuff, but you won't. You won't sneak into a movie.
I don't do it anymore.
I know, but at that point you weren't sneaking in movies, right?
No.
All right. So how about if we turn the radio on in the Comedy Time Machine and let people listen to it?
I like it.
What songs were hitting the charts way back when? I want to say he just died. Casey Kasem.
Yeah.
Casey Kasem, one of my heroes. He really was. Should I tell one of my Casey Kasem jokes or no? I have a Casey Kasem, but I had this. I've been doing it for what, 3 years maybe now. Mm-hmm. And very sad that he died. But I loved him. I can't tell you how many drives I went on. We'd go visit my sister at college, and my mom and I on Sundays we'd drive back. We'd listen to the countdown in the car. Everyone did. We'd listen to the countdown. It was always playing. And he's awesome. I still now on Sirius Radio listen to him when they do the countdowns and stuff. He's great. But I love the long distance dedication, so that's what my joke is about. And I loved how sincere he got, and the whole idea that they would play this, read a letter from someone who wanted to dedicate a song to someone else, and then Casey would read the letter and play the song. Like everyone, like the guy who wrote the letter was going to be listening on that random day. Like the guy he played it for was going to be listening on that random day. It was all bullshit. But it was still awesome. And it was always like a sad story. So it was always like, Bob from Modesto writes, Dear Casey. Casey, my grandpa was my hero. He was an American hero as well. He fought in Korea and lost his leg there. But he wasn't bitter about it. In fact, he had an excellent sense of humor. I went over to his house on the weekends, and he'd take off his prosthetic leg and let me hide it about the house. He'd hop around for hours trying to find it. Oh, the fun we had. After dinner sometimes, we'd go into the backyard, and he'd hit me wiffle balls with it till the sun went down. Casey, last year my grandpa died, but he's still my hero. Casey, could you please play Kenny Loggins' Footloose? So it was awesome. It was also like that. Obviously, I'm poking fun at the ridiculousness of all, but I really do. That guy had an incredible voice. What a great life. And I was listening to Howard Stern this week, and they were talking about Casey, and he was like, "Oh, he made a lot of money. He was very successful, and so I respect him." It was like, he shorted him. He was a great broadcaster. He was really good.
Wasn't he one of the first people who did the countdown ever?
Well, I guess they would just do a countdown, and it would just be very plain. Like, he added stories and do trivia, and I didn't know this about him, and this is Howard was slighting him for this a little bit. He's like, he didn't really enjoy that music. He wasn't a rock and roll guy. He liked classical and like other stuff. So he didn't really know these artists or listen to it. He would come in and just do it. So Howard was slighting him for that. But I think that makes him even more impressive that he sold it so well. And I don't care if I could. The story he's telling made me enjoy the show.
Yeah.
So it was great. Cool. So Casey Kasem, let's do the Casey Kasem. You're filling in for Casey Kasem now. We're going to do the countdown. This we start at 10. We're not going to do 11 for the songs.
And do we play a little bit of the songs?
No. Sometimes we do. If we had an intern here to play,
really?
Have we mentioned?
We need an intern. I would have had this playlist ready.
Okay. Next time we will have a playlist ready. Every once in a while we'll get it.
Sorry to rip you off, people.
That's all right. So, yes, number 10, what is
If You Go by John Cicada, and my notes were Yuck.
Yuck, it was Yuck. Do you remember the song? Did you remember it? Well, I heard you listening earlier.
I was listening to it. Yeah, I remembered it. I don't remember it now, all of a sudden, but I didn't like it.
It sounded like every other John Cicada song.
Yeah,
is it cicada or cicada?
Cicada.
You say cicada, I say cicada.
I don't think so, because nobody with that tomato thing, nobody says this. You know what I'm saying?
So that you're saying that it's
is
it Jan or John? Jan Segato.
John.
Okay.
It's John.
All right.
So yeah, let's move on.
Let's move on.
Can't we just go like that?
We could. But
we could
try that. Obviously, I didn't realize
we're gonna piss y'all off. Let's just. Why don't we do this the whole time?
The whole time we're in the thing. This is what it's like living with you. I'm sorry.
All
right, number 9.
Number 9 is back and forth with Aaliyah.
I don't know this song.
Really?
Now, here's the thing, and I've talked about this on other Comedy Time Machines, I think, although this is the first time we went back this far. I was in the Navy. I've told you this story.
Oh.
I was in the Navy, and I got out in 94.
Okay.
So this is the summer when I got out. So I was out by this week in 1994, out of the Navy. But this might have been a number 1 song, and now it had dropped down to number 9 after a few weeks. So, a month or two earlier, I was in the Navy, and we would go out to sea. I was on a submarine. There's songs I hear sometimes on the countdown.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, I have never heard this song before. And you'll be like, this was a huge hit. How have you never heard it? And it was just because I was out at sea for 8 weeks, and by the time we got back, it had come and went off the charts. So this might be one of those. This is a big song?
Yeah.
How does it go? Give us a few bars here.
It's the main thing. It goes back and forth, something like that. I don't know. I have to hear it. Here's the future. We're gonna get the playlist, and it can be playing while we're talking about it, and then we'll just tap to the next one. Wouldn't you people like that?
Yes, yeah, I think
this is
like
silly.
that.
I could have downloaded the whole thing while you were doing your bar pull-up thingies.
Good for the podcast. And my wife. I gotta compete with Kevin Costner.
Okay, so
Aaliyah. Aaliyah died, right? Was she the one that died?
Yeah, she died.
Yeah. Moment of silence for Aaliyah.
I think she's already had it. It's 20 years
we're
ago.
giving her. We're back in time, so we should give it to her.
Oh.
All right, screw it. Take it, Lavis. You were a big fan. Number 8.
Okay, so first of all, I never heard this song before.
Were you on a submarine?
I was on a submarine.
Number 8.
And I was kind of a fan back then, although she was gigantic.
This is Mariah Carey you're talking about?
Yeah.
She was the gigantic what?
Diva.
I think is this when she was a diva? This is when she's still married to Tommy Mottola and kind of she'd wear like black, not turtlenecky things and jeans. It was always like a black top and jeans.
Yeah.
And she had the big hair.
Yes.
But she was kind of cute, like she was sexy, but in a cute, fun way, like
the
girl.
This was back when she was like popular.
But I'm saying at some point she went full hoe, right? Like all of a sudden, once she got divorced from Tommy Mottola, she was like no clothes, rapping. She was dating, you know what I mean? Like everything changed all of a sudden. She became like it was I don't know more sex symbol she was trying to be. After that. But at this point, so what's the song? It's called what?
Anytime You Need a Friend. And I wouldn't call her for, anytime I needed a friend.
That's a good point for a diva
You know what I mean?
to be singing a song about that. Yeah.
I mean, she's like one of the divas. People would say, like,
That's true.
Mariah Carey's a diva. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would like to share a joke, and if there's kids in the car, plug their ears. My friend Becky Patago.
If there's kids in the car, they should have long ago.
What did we talk about?
I just think that there are things.
Kevin Costner's big arm.
Getting stoned and just things. I think.
Everything you did. I think I have been a model citizen on this podcast. But you're right. You get stoned and shoplift and stuff.
I don't shoplift.
No, you did.
20 years ago.
Yeah. So anyways, on the Divas. Remember they did on VH1?
And make an ice bag.
I did steal, right. I stole an ice bag. You're right. I shoplifted an ice bag. And which is bad shoplifting but the great idea about shoplifting a bag of ice, if you get caught later, like evidence is gone. It melts.
The plastic is still there.
I'll be like,
and it was cold outside. That lasted a while.
It did last a while. I remember. But anyways, Becky Patago, a comedian and friend of the show, Becky Patago, very funny comedian. And she had a joke about, remember when VH1 was doing the show Divas, and they would have all like Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, all those, they'd come on and sing songs. And she had a great joke where she's like, Divas, why are we paying attention to people who are divas, like divas are people. She's like, the reason they call it divas is because you can't say cunt on basic cable.
That's awesome.
So shout out to Becky Patago,
That's
friend
awesome.
of the show. Yes. So I don't know that song either. So
Okay.
again, feel free to tweet us. Let us know if you know that song and like the song. Maybe we'll hear from Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey, friend of the show. People don't know that. Mariah Carey, friend of the show. Always been a friend. Yeah, friend of the show. Number 7, I think we're up to.
I love this song.
Okay.
It's Baby I Love Your Way by Big Mountain.
Mm.
Love this song.
Very interesting that...
It's from that movie Reality Bites.
Reality Bites, which was not on our... so the song is on the charts. Do you think the movie had came and went already?
I don't know. Or maybe the movie didn't make any money.
Sometimes they'll release a soundtrack beforehand, too.
Or the movie was kind of independent.
Yeah, but it was a big movie. It was Ben Stiller, really? Winona Ryder, probably at her biggest at that point. Janine Garofalo.
She also
Steve Zahn.
Shoplifter.
Big shoplifter. That's true. You and her at the same time.
Yes, and
she is one of my...
Steve hugely attracted to her.
To Winona Ryder, yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting that I'm into shoplifters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to make out?
Yeah.
Mm.
Give me a pistol. Ooh, I feel like Kevin Costner in my pants now. All right, Baby, I Love Your... Ooh, Baby, I Love Your Way.
Yes, every day.
But this was this was a Peter Frampton song from the 70s that was remade by a reggae band.
I didn't know that.
And it was a mix of Freebird, I believe, as well. Did it say that on that when you were doing your research?
I didn't.
I thought it was
research
Freebird.
About the song.
Okay, I think it was a mix of Baby, I Love Your Way and Freebird.
Interesting.
But yes, and what was the name of the band?
Big Mountain.
Big Mountain, and wow, they have really stayed on the charts. Them and Mariah Carey, really. Big Mountain still hitting it up. Big Mountain, people don't know. Big Mountain, friends of the show. Friends of the show, they love the show.
You make that stuff up.
Yeah. Well, then no, they're friends of the show. You know what? I tease Big Mountain. They haven't had a hit in a while though, so if they're looking for a job, we need an intern. Big Mountain, if you'd like to come be our intern for the show.
And you can serenade me.
Yeah, and you can sing to Denise. She would love it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so please. What are we up to? Number 6?
6.
This is a big song.
The Sign by Ace of Base.
Such a great song, right?
You know what? I feel like Ace of Base, which there are 2 Ace of Base songs on our countdown tonight.
Oh, wow. Well, they're both on, right? They hit hard. This was
but not the
Swedish supergroup.
Not the 2 you think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what the other one is, but I only know 2 songs, I think.
There are 3.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Well, what do you got?
Well, I'm not going to tell you the other one.
No. But what's this one?
But this one is The Sign.
I saw the sign, and it opened up my eyes. I saw the sign.
So, yeah, I feel like the Ace
Once
of Base
I sing a song, it's eternally mine.
I don't get it.
They say that about Elvis, but I'm a bad singer, so I'm jokingly saying it. So what do you got to do with Ace of Base? Did you have more about them?
Like that.
They were the ABBA of the 90s. You know, the ABBA had all the hits in the 70s. These guys were from Sweden, and they came here and had all these big hits.
I feel like they're weird guilty pleasure. You know, like people are secret. Like they're playing Ace of Base in their car, and then they pull up to a stoplight, and then they turn it down.
They turn it down so people don't know.
Yeah. But they sing it at the top of their lungs.
I pulled up to a stop sign and turned down the music so no one heard it.
Totally.
All right, number 5.
Janet Jackson, Anytime, Anyplace.
Don't know this one. This might have been one of those.
You know, it's interesting. I actually thought this was from her Velvet Rope, but it wasn't. It was from Janet.
Oh, yes. We have opened up Pandora's box here on the Comedy Time Machine.
I watched it, and it's not. It's not.
It's not from that?
No.
Can I tell the story, though, about the Velvet Rope?
You can, but do we have enough time for a battle?
Well, we don't have to battle. Let's just tell people, and then they'll let people weigh in, and the next time that you take a trip with us, we'll hear what the people say, and we can defend it. We'll just give them the facts.
The facts, but I have inside information, and I actually saw Robert on the video.
Okay. So she did a Velvet Rope tour, Janet Jackson. Mm-hmm. And when I first met Denise, she was telling me we were on a drive.
He's probably going to tell you the story wrong.
We were on a drive somewhere, and she was telling me about this amazing concert video she saw of the Velvet Rope, right? And I think it was called Behind the Velvet Rope, the tour. And she said there was this great part where Janet Jackson brings a guy out of the audience on stage, and she puts him in a chair, and she ties him up on stage, and then she dirty dances on top of him, and then she makes out with him a little bit. Not makes out, but she kisses him, but on the lips, and it was a little very sexual thing. And she's like, it was just awesome. She was like, can you imagine? She's saying to me, telling me the story in the car. And so Denise says, can you imagine that guy? Like how great, how excited he was. Wow, he went to a concert and he got picked out of the crowd.
Freaking out.
And he's freaking out. She was like, it was the most amazing thing because he was so excited and he's freaking out that he's pulled on stage. And then I said, look, I'm in the entertainment business, and so I've seen behind the mirrors a little bit, and that guy was not handpicked out of the crowd. He wasn't he was handpicked. He was planted. There was no way that they're going to let a huge star like Janet Jackson randomly take someone out of the crowd. The guy could have been a serial killer. He could have stabbed her. He could have done anything by taking a random person out of the crowd. And of course, he could have, she kissed him on the lips. And he could have had herpes. He could have had anything. Anything terrible could have been wrong. A multi-million. Right, but you're not going to do it in front of 100,000 people at a concert. Hold on a second. So many things could go wrong.
Hold on, it's my turn now.
Okay.
So, number one, someone who works for me, Robert, was on the Velvet Tour. He was on the Velvet Rope Tour. He was her dancer, one of her main dancers. He actually brings the rope out and hands it to her that she dances with.
Yeah.
And he says
I wish I had hair to
that
make my
what
point.
happens on
she just, for you listeners there who aren't watching it, we have a hangout.
I let you talk. If you let me talk now, I'm going to push you off the bench.
I'm letting people know what you're...
They're not listening to you because it's my turn, and they want to hear both sides of the story. So what happens is, he said, yes, what they do beforehand is they pick like 10 to 20 people in the front area, and then she then picks out of those people. Mm-hmm. So it's random out of those people. It's not like, oh, this guy, let's do a background check on him. It's random out of those people.
But
he traveled with her for a year.
I'll bet he traveled with her, and so did the guy that she pulled out of the audience.
He did not travel with her.
I don't care what Robert says.
I watched it again today.
There is no way. You watched it today?
What you're talking about. Yes, I watched it today because I was seeing if this song was that song.
Okay.
You know what I was talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
So anyways, that
10 years we've been
arguing. This is the biggest argument we've had ongoingly about this. So let us know what you think. I'm going to put up my Twitter here. So find us there.
If you agree with him, we are going to have a problem.
And here's the pod Twitter as well. Haha Time Machine, at Haha Time Machine. Let us know what you think. If Denise is right, could this guy have been just a random guy that they pulled out of the audience?
You don't think Janet Jackson has just randomly banged somebody ever? Of course she has.
Not just out of a crowd and said, no, let's fuck right now.
Oh, God, Mr. Naive. Please. Next, number 4.
I don't know that song anyways. Number 3. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Number 4.
You Mean the World to Me by Toni Braxton.
I don't remember the song, but I remember Toni Braxton. She was hot.
Ew.
Really? You don't like her?
Yeah, I don't like this song. I know this song.
How did it go? Can you just give us a little?
I don't even want to
just give us just the chorus really quick.
I can't.
Please.
I can't.
Okay. Thank you for playing along.
It goes, You Mean the World to Me.
Well, thank you for just reading the title. When I said, could you sing a few bars?
Just like it's
Did it go, oh, is this the song that went, You Mean the World to Me? Is that this one? Is that how it went? I never heard the song, and I could do as good a version of it as you. You mean the world to me.
I can't. It's like a really deep kind of,
She was hot. She's in it short, too. I heard she's like 4'11" or something.
You know that whole story? She used to be really big.
She was? Toni Braxton? Really?
Yeah, she was really big, and then she went away to like one of those places that you lose weight.
Yeah.
She came back to her house, and the guy at the gate didn't recognize her, and she fired him.
Why? That's a good thing. Wouldn't she be proud that the guy doesn't recognize her?
You'd think.
Yeah.
Also, a diva.
Was it she had? I heard she was a big pain in the butt. My mom went and saw her and said she was fantastic live.
Her voice.
I heard I didn't know she was fat, but now that I know that, did you know she was so fat that she used to go by Tony? All right, let's move on. Number 3. Are we at the 3?
2. Oh.
Oh, number 3, you're right. There were 3 songs from the sign.
Yeah.
I just saw in your notebook. The one I was thinking it was All That You Want.
Right.
All that you want is another baby.
Uh-huh.
Dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
Dun. Yeah. And this is?
Don't Turn Around.
Can you sing this one?
Don't turn around.
They all do sound very similar, right? But yeah, it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Don't turn around. Number 2.
I'll Remember by Madonna.
Oh, listen, this is just like, what was the other one we had? Baby, I Love Your Way. This is a soundtrack song, and I'm surprised the movie is not on the thing. Do you remember what movie this is from? Do you know the song?
Yeah, but now I can't remember it.
I will remember.
Get it?
Oh, maybe it's not this song. Maybe
I'm
mistaken.
It is that. I heard it today.
It's a soundtrack song?
Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm saying that's the song I was just saying.
Yeah.
But maybe there's that the soundtrack song is something about a playground. This Used to Be My Playground is the song I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah.
Which was from League of Their Own, which is one of my favorite movies. That's a great movie I could watch over and over.
Really?
Yeah. That's a chick flick, but I don't think predictable. It's not really a romantic comedy.
It's not a chick flick.
You don't think League of Their Own
is? It's chick with flicks. I mean, a flick.
Thank you, Absolute, for being our sponsor today. It's a chick with flicks. Yes, move on.
The number one
song this week, late June, last weekend of June.
I swear by the sun and the moon and the sky. There's a little 2 bands sang this at the same time.
Wasn't
Backstreet Boys or...
No, wasn't it a country artist or something?
No. All for One and Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys did this too?
Or NSYNC or...
98 Degrees?
Or 98 Degrees. Or who are those people?
New Kids on the Block?
No. Who's that guy?
Beatles?
No, that married Jessica Simpson.
Elvis Presley? Yeah, he was 98 Degrees, I think.
Was he?
Yeah, I think so.
In the Shade? Don't you know that where they're like 98 degrees? Or is it 96 degrees? In the shade.
Must have been when I was on a submarine
as well. It was in the 90s.
That is it. Listen, well, let's wrap up. That is the top 10. We are getting close to the end of our podcast, so there's some things we want to talk about. This was a big week in news, though, so let's cover that really quick. A couple big things happened.
Yes.
Would you like to report them? Would you like to be our reporter? This has been in the news a lot. Everyone's been looking at the 20th anniversary of the O.J. Simpson
pre-trial hearings.
The whole thing kind of blew up this summer in 1994.
Yes.
Like, the spring is, I think, like a month and a half ago is when he killed him. Now it's the pre-trial hearing. The car chase was like a week and a half ago. Supposedly killed her. That's right. That's right. But that's one of those events, right? Like, where were you when you either heard about O.J. or where were you when you heard the verdict, right?
I don't remember.
You don't remember hearing the verdict?
I remember where I heard that I was... I mean, I don't remember when the car chase thing happened, where I was.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in Kansas the whole time.
Yeah. Stoned and shoplifting. That's how you got away with the shoplifting. Everyone was looking for OJ, so you got away with it. And the other, I guess the news wasn't big on the second story this week.
Yeah.
But it was kind of coming to a head. Tonya Harding was barred for life. So the pun intended there, barred for life, since it was her boyfriend that hit what's her face with a bar in the legs, a steel bar.
Not cool.
But yeah, so Tonya Harding gone. It was funny. I was dating someone at that point that
I thought I was your
liked
first.
Tonya Harding. They when you first heard about it, you just saw these two people, Nancy Kerrigan and Tonya Harding. You're right. It was my ex-wife. You're right. Sorry, I was still dating. And but she liked Tonya Harding. She didn't. Everyone was.
Wife liked Tonya Harding.
She didn't like her, and I think in the end would have been like, oh, she was a bad person. But
let's talk about your ex-wife.
I don't want to talk about my ex-wife. let's end it there. This is a good place to end the thing. There's a couple of things we have to roll the dice for what is happening and seeing where we're going next week. So please tune in. We will see who will have some new co-pilots. Hopefully Denise will come back. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
My show now.
It's changing it to the Denise time machine moving forward. So here we go. Would you like to do the honors? Push the die. We're going to roll the Dungeons & Dragon die there, the 1d20, and see where we're going back in time. 13 years. So that would be 2001, right? A Space Odyssey.
I was just thinking that.
Were you?
Oh my God.
We've got so much in common.
I know. We should get married.
We should.
This is our 10th year together.
This is our 10th.
Well, we're getting a divorce now.
Now that can I bring that to the courthouse? Just
sure.
Use that. So, anyways, 2001. We're going to go back to this week in 2001. Seriously, thanks for being here. You were great. I loved you. It was a lot of fun.
You loved me.
Did I say I loved you? I loved it. I
I thought you said you loved me.
Both.
That's
I love
10.
it, and I love them, and I love you.
Love you too.
And so, yeah, hopefully Lee and Gary will be back soon. We'll have other great guests coming up on the Time Machine. And next week, we're going to go back 13 years to this week in 2001. And I think we did. We get the plugs in. We got everything. So there's only one thing. It's time to go back into the future and see everything one more time. Don't forget to look us up on Twitter. There's my Twitter. Let us know what you think. I think we should call this the Velvet Rope episode. Maybe. What do you think? Would that be a good one, maybe?
Yeah.
So we'll see. All right. Well, here we go. Back into the future. We'll see you all in the future.